Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm KRYSTYNA Pollard. It's great to have you with us. In this week's bulletin, 9 people arrested during a drug sting in Parramatta, a local council supports efforts to stop contamination of Sydney's drinking water, and Camden set to ignite with talent. But first, police believe they have stopped the alleged bikie war blamed for a spate of shootings in Sydney's west after making 4 arrests on Thursday. Detective Superintendent Arthur Katsiganis said police had arrested 4 men with alleged bikie gang links, 2 of whom were already in custody. He said 31 associates and members of the feuding Hells Angels and Nomads bikie gangs had been arrested in total. Superintendent Katsiganis said the shootings had now stopped because the key players were in custody. The 4 men, aged in their 20s and 30s, were arrested on Thursday following months of investigations into shootings in Western Sydney, and they'll face court this month. An undercover operation targeting drug supply in Parramatta's Church Street Mall has ended with 9 arrests. Police will allege the suspects sold drugs to undercover officers on more than 20 occasions since July. Assistant Commissioner Dennis Clifford said the arrest would make a significant difference in Parramatta and praised officers involved in the operation. 5 men were arrested on Wednesday for allegedly selling heroin, while 3 men and a woman were arrested on Thursday. They allegedly sold cannabis and methamphetamine. Wollondilly Council is supporting a protest group's efforts to stop the possible contamination of Sydney's drinking water from coal seam gas mining projects. Members of the Stop CSG Sydney Water catchment want a mining ban imposed in catchment areas and hope the Wollondilly village of Natai will be the first community in Sydney to be officially declared coal seam gas free. Wollondilly councillors reiterated their opposition to coal seam gas mining in the Shire at their last meeting and agreed to consider providing the protest group with financial assistance. 4 out of every 5 cats impounded in the Holroyd area last year were destroyed despite the council's low kill policy. Lynn Wilson of the Cat Defence Network says the complacency of cat owners is to blame.
A lot of people say, oh, my cat will come back, he's run away before. A lot of the time it's a fluke if the cat comes back. When your cat goes missing, you've got to jump up and down immediately, run around your neighbourhood, put up signs, letterbox drop, go up the pound, contact council, let them know that your cat's missing. You just can't do enough, but you've got to act really, really quickly to get it done. Well, we have to get the message out there. We have to get people to desex their animals, to keep them in at night, to stop them wandering, because then they become lost. Then they get up to the pound, then they get killed.
But the low kill policy has been highly successful where dogs are concerned. Last year, just 22 dogs were put down and all were old or sick, declared dangerous, a restricted breed, or hadn't been homed after a substantial period of time. In 2002, the first year that Holroyd Council's low kill policy was adopted, 500 dogs were destroyed.
Holroyd Council has a desexing program, so that's really good for the cats because people can get cats desexed at a lower cost. The council is subsidising it, whereas otherwise a lot of these cats wouldn't be being desexed at all. Well, it's better for them. Their behaviour will be much, much better. Male cats won't roam, they won't get into fights, you won't be hit with big vet bills, trouble with neighbours. Female cats, of course, won't be breeding. Then we won't have so many cats dumped.
Holroyd Council has tried a foster care program for cats, which it later discontinued because volunteers could not continuously care for the animals. The council is now considering an Adopt a Stray program and rehoming impounded adult cats at aged care facilities. Kerry Morris-Beverstock loves a good paddle but believes a recent outing in the Georges River has left her with a crippling heart condition. Miss Morris-Beverstock became ill after swallowing several mouthfuls of water when she fell into the river while trying out a new surf ski at Picnic Point in May. Doctors initially thought she had the flu, but within weeks they diagnosed the heart condition, pericarditis, which causes breathlessness. Miss Morris-Beverstock says she will never again paddle in the Georges River and is urging others to also steer clear of the waterway. A Western Sydney rugby union club has paid tribute to one of its brightest stars after his tragic death in a house fire in the Blue Mountains. 26-year-old Grant Opie was found dead in his Blaxton home last Sunday morning. He was one of 3 people who died in separate house fires in the region in 48 hours. The well-known local builder helped the Blue Mountains Rugby Club clinch last year's first grade premiership and was named Best and Fairest and Players Player for 2011. Club Life member Jeff Lauchier said the former Blue Mountains Grammar School student was a dynamic footballer and one of the best players on the field on grand final day. Authorities say the fire is believed to have started in Mr Opie's kitchen and had been extinguished by the time emergency crews arrived. 33-year-old James Rowe and a Central Coast woman in her 60s were also killed in separate house fires in Blaxland and Hazelbrook last Friday, prompting warnings from fire authorities for residents to install and check smoke alarms. Hurstville and Miranda local area commands have both had their numbers cut by 15 police officers. The state government says the officers cut are still mostly working in the areas, but now report to a different command. But the opposition says it's a move to resource state rail train patrols and will leave fewer police for general duties. Police Minister Michael Gallagher says the overall strength of the police force increased by 60 officers this month. More than 18,000 Muslims in Parramatta and Holroyd will end 30 days of fasting this Sunday when the holy month of Ramadan comes to an end with the celebration of Eid Fitr. It's the holiest period in the Islamic calendar, and Eid will be the biggest celebration for most Muslims, with morning prayers in parks and mosques across Western Sydney. Chairman of Parramatta Mosque, Neil Al-Kadomi, said the beginning of Eid would mean fasting had finished and feasts could begin. Devout Muslim and Auburn Gallipoli Mosque liaison Levent Gay Aden said he fought hunger, headaches and tiredness during the early period of Ramadan. An industry standard trade classroom has sparked a rise in the number of students choosing metalwork and engineering subjects at Picton High School. The school went from having one welding bay to 13 after the state government spent $3.5 million on the development of a trade school block. Metal and engineering teacher Gary Nichols says the new rooms make a huge difference to senior students attempting to move into apprenticeships or complete their high school certificate projects. Grammar and dance seem unlikely partners, but a Parramatta High School teacher believes children learn through creating images and movement. Melinda Ty Quinn received a $20,000 arts fellowship from Parramatta Council to implement her program in 8 schools throughout the region. She says it involves students acting out sentences in a dance movement based on grammar concepts. The students then see how the meaning and flow of a sentence is changed by adding and removing punctuation. Creating fossils, building working volcanoes and setting off rockets in a classroom are all part of the fun for some budding Einsteins at Castle Hill this week. The Fizzy's Discovery Science Club is a 9-week course of workshops being held at the Powerhouse Discovery Centre until September 19. Program facilitator Thomas KERSHAW says he enjoys seeing children genuinely excited about simple science projects.
The greatest thing about this program is the fact that the kids are genuinely enjoying what they're learning, and there's no gadgets, there's nothing crazy or really fancy technology about it. It's the fact that the kids are getting excited about the science and they're genuinely enjoying it, and that's the best part of the job for me, is seeing the kids enjoying what they're doing and enjoying what they're learning.
Separate sessions were also provided for children who are homeschooled.
That's the plan, to try and get them engaged so that they want to go into science as a future career, but also so that when they come across science in the classroom at school, they're not so intimidated by it and they think, well, we can actually have a bit of fun with this. And the homeschool kids benefit because they have that socialisation part where they're discussing science with other students and they're participating in group work, so they learn the sharing skills that perhaps they don't get when they're schooled at home.
We've been learning about fossils, even learning about hearts, there's lots of different stuff we've done and I really like it here. We do lots of experiments and it's really fun. Well, the thing that I learned is how fossils are formed, how sand goes around them and it becomes hard, and that's the thing that I really like.